And we're super grateful for you, the subscribers, and I know that that's so vague and like trashy to say, but you as a person means something to us. And so would you do us a favor, put it in the comments, what do you want to hear from us? We want to bring you value.
One of his consigliaries was talking with a Pfizer representative, and they...
What is that word?
Pfizer representative?
No. Consigliere.
Consigliary?
What?
A consigliere is like an underling that works with you?
Hooked on phonics with Kellen. What's happening, everybody, and welcome to the Popino Brothers. My name is Kyle.
I'm Kellen.
And we are going to get into it tonight.
Yeah, we are. What exactly are we getting into?
So we were just having a conversation not too long ago about something's coming. And I'm not sure what it is. And I'm not a big doomsday guy. I don't like the doomsday ethos. I don't want to be the kind of guy that lives by this impending doom on my family, impending doom on my country. But we got way too many balloons in the sky.
And if I hear of one more train derailment, so help me God, Buttigieg, you suck.
Get it together, man. Anyway, I'm tired of hearing about these crazy events that are happening, and I just don't want to be caught with my head in the sand. And so as a channel that like prioritizes protection, we prioritize providing for our family. What are some good things to look out for? And what do you do when you see that the 8th train has derailed?
Is it up to 8 already?
I don't think so, but I'm being a little exaggerating.
Because I know the one in not Palestine, they're saying Palestine.
Well, yeah, you don't want to be in Palestine.
No, the train derailment in East Palestine.
Yeah.
Ohio?
Yeah.
Ohio, yeah. And then there was another one today.
In Nebraska.
Good.
Yeah.
Grief.
I know that something's up, and I do feel like of all the videos we've made, this one might be the one that gets canceled first. But I will say I don't want to be in a place where I'm stuck with my hands beneath my seat. I want to be ready. I want to be prepared. And I don't mean prep as prepared as in like a prepper. Like, I feel like prepping is a good idea, but there's just this stigma that you're like this crazy kook out in the middle of the woods. Can we say kook?
As far as I know.
I don't know what I can say and what I can't say anymore. Not that I really care, but I don't want to be known as this like crazy guy who just randomly has everything out in the woods and is ready to freaking go at any time. I'm not really a part of a militia group, but I do believe that we can use our heads. We can be smart. We can have preparations
absolutely
made so that when things hit the fan, we're ready to go. So tell me, what are you preparing for? Like if something is coming, what are you preparing for?
I think like, as we mentioned in the intro, more on that later. No, as we were talking about at the beginning of the video, honestly, there's just one too many balloons in the sky and one too many trains not on the rails for me to think that all of this is coincidence.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm actually turning the clocks back a couple years. When we started hearing about COVID-19 and us looking up like, oh, what is it called again? COVID-19?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everything went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah.
For me, I'm thinking, okay, practically like around the house, what do I have room to store for?
Yep.
Toilet paper, toiletries, things like soap. In my kitchen, I have another little, it's not like a cabinet, but it's like a little box that I bought so it can sit out in the garage for dry goods and things that need to be stored at room temperature. We are fortunate enough to have a really big refrigerator and freezer in the garage as well, and we're making sure that that's full. But I think more than that, from me personally, I come from a background of having struggled in the past with depression. And I know that when I was isolated by myself and I really couldn't see my family because I know my dad has a lot of pre-existing stuff, especially with his heart. We took it very seriously for the first like 2 or 3 months or so. So
we took it very seriously for the first couple of weeks. And then we all started to laugh at it.
Yeah. Once we kind of figured out like, oh, this is nonsense. We treated it as such. But for those first couple weeks, like that really dug deep in my brain, and I struggled. Not necessarily with just like, having things, because luckily we did have things, but the mindset issue of like, I need to steel my mind now, versus trying to figure out how to get myself out of a hole later.
So what are you doing to prepare for that?
Drawing closer to Jesus every single day, like voraciously reading my Bible, figuring out what it teaches, what I need to do, what I need to believe, what I need to be thinking about, because the Bible does address all those things. And it says that if I'm doing and I'm thinking and I'm, studying the way it says I need to study and live the way that I need to live,
Right.
It's almost, well, not almost, it is a natural antidote to a lot of the depression, feelings of anxiety and that sort of thing that I wrestled with in the past. Not to say that I wasn't doing that before, but I have really amped it up in the last 2 or 3 years.
That's really good. That's really good. I think mental health is really important. And I think Scripture deals with it a lot more than people give it credit for. But then I do think that there are some other practical things, and I don't want to detract at all from what you just said. I think it's powerful because people lost their minds in COVID.
They're still looking for him.
Playing Where's Waldo with their mind. There are things that we could...
He goes by Wanda now.
We're going to get canceled. Anyway, I think there's some other practical things that you can do. So our mom started early on in our lives where she put an emergency kit together, right? We live in California. We're going to deal with an earthquake at some point. So how are we going to prepare for an earthquake, and what are we doing to prepare? And she had food and water and shelter and covers and, all kinds of things, sleeping bags for all of us kids to make sure we had some form of comfort. And I've just continued that in my own adult life with my family. So I guess what you can't see right now is we're filming in a garage.
Bomb shelter.
Yeah, kind of. It's an armory of sorts. But I have ready to go 3 months worth of water for both drinking.
That's a lot of water.
It is a lot of water. Drinking water, cooking water, and cleaning water. I have about 3 months worth of that. I've also got a deep freezer here where we're stocking that full of meat and other perishables. We're making sure that we have canned goods and dried, beans and rice. But I loved what John Lovell said, and if I can link the video, I will link the video because it's such a great video.
I don't think I've seen it.
He talks about the 10 things to get before they're gone / the 10 things to stock up on. And
if you can't link the video, text it to me. That sounds fascinating.
I will. I'll put it in the comments for sure.
All right.
But he talks about the 10 things to get quickly, and one of them, he was like, make sure you get like ketchup and barbecue sauce. Like, you're gonna hate eating some of this food and you want to make it fun. So like I have my favorite barbecue sauces. I love the Traeger. I love to cook and barbecue. And so I have ways to barbecue if the electricity goes out. I've got ways to make sure that my family can be fed, and we're not going to hate our meals right away.
Right away.
Now, don't get me wrong. Once you eat, 50 pounds of rice, you're going to start hating rice for a little bit.
Lord, how long with the manna?
Yeah, seriously. But anyway, I think you need to pay attention to the news. Don't give it as much credit as they want you to give it. Don't give it as much mind space as they want you to give it. The panic culture, the fake news culture. Don't pay attention to that part. But I think it's really good to pay attention to what's going on in the world. So I think it is somewhere around 5 or 6 train derailments, and most of them are carrying hazardous materials.
Yeah.
So you need water because no one in Palestine right now is drinking the water.
No.
Like
all the politicians right now are like, no, like it's safe to drink. And then they're asking him, okay, are you drinking it? It's safe to drink.
So they got up today and actually drank water from it, but you can't convince me that that's from the tap. I'm sorry, you're just not going to.
No,
so you've got to make sure.
Kirkland signature action.
Chin.
Cheers.
Oh, I have the cap on.
Fantastic.
You're going to need drinking water. You're going to need water to clean yourself because, guys, you're going to get smelly. Right? If the electricity goes out, you don't have hot water, you're going to start stinking real quick. So you're going to need to figure that part out. But I think people need to pay attention to what are you loading up on. So for me, I'm loading up on fuel. I have fuel that I can get out of our state.
Ooh, I didn't think about that one.
Yeah, if I need to, I have enough fuel on hand to get out of the state.
Okay.
I have enough fire fuel to cook for my family for a while. I have, I guess in addition to that, I have multiple forms of shelter. I want multiple backup plans. I want to be able to get my family out, or I want to be able to hunker down. Either way it goes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hate where I'm at. So I have food that I like. And we've stockpiled the foods that we like so that we can enjoy some sense of normalcy, because we have a child. And if that child is not fed corn dogs, we will hate our lives for a while.
Yeah. And ketchup. And voracious amounts of ketchup.
And Chick-fil-A sauce.
Chick-fil-A sauce.
Gotta have the
Get a
Chick-fil-A.
little bit of that chicky-ficky.
But then also think like, man, what happens if, and again, I'm not a doomsday guy. I don't want to be the doomsday guy, but I do want to be informed. I want to be, the Bible says, know the sign of the times.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I want to be aware of what is going on. And if something were to hit the fan and I need to defend my family, again, I'm somewhere in the comments, you will see a comment with the link to John Lovell's video, the 10 things to get, but ammunition. You've got to have ammunition. And I'm not talking about 10 or 15 boxes of ammunition. I'm talking about a stockpile that will allow you to defend and hunt.
Yeah, I would say no less than 1,000 rounds. Like, that's dangerously low for me.
I would say you need to have enough to defend your family, you need to have enough to hunt, and you need to have enough to train, because it's a perishable skill. So I think that's a good baby step to get to 1,000 rounds. I'm not going to tell you how many I've got, but I will say a good benchmark to get to as fast as you can is 10,000.
Yeah. I'm not there yet, but I'm above 1,000 now.
Well, get there as fast as you can and do some math. And there's some other videos here on YouTube that can explain some of the math behind stockpiling ammunition, stockpiling water, stockpiling all this stuff. There's actual like ratios to have. And they can put some formulas behind this. But guys, pay attention. This again, I'm not trying to scare you. I believe that we as a society are in for something a little larger than we're really used to. And there are just some things stocking up that are making the ring ding 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 in my head go off like the bells are sounding.
Pfizer came out like a week or two ago. And, oh boy, what was the guy's name? James O'Keefe with Project Veritas. I know like today he's out now, but he was, one of his consigliaries was talking with a Pfizer representative, and they...
What is that word?
Pfizer?
No. Consigliere.
Consigliere?
What?
A consigliere is like an underling that works with you?
Hooked on phonics with Kellen.
I read a lot with no life. But no, they were talking with one of the Pfizer grunts, and they were saying like, "Oh yeah, we're taking."
How do you have consigliere and grunt in the same? Man, your vocabulary is fun. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So they said they're working on essentially gain of function research on COVID and other major diseases to mutate them into different and more powerful diseases so they can treat them down the line. I'm not comfortable with that at all.
No.
And then going back a little bit to like preparedness, one of the things that I did, because I realized I'm really only home in the evenings because I'm at work. And then usually I'll go hang out with friends or I'll be with my family. Obviously, I'm with you a lot. But I always have my car on me. So I always keep a suitcase in my car with like a lot of clothes, like toothbrush, toothpaste, like all that jazz. So like if I had to survive a week away from my house, I can.
Yep. Brittany and I actually both have solar panels in our car.
That's really smart. Okay. How do you install them yourself, or did they come?
No. It's a blanket. So like it's in our wheel well, our spare wheel well, and you pull it out and you like unfold it on the lawn or in a parking lot, and it's this like large thing that just kind of folds up, kind of tiny, and then you can actually plug a USB charger into it. You can charge a phone. So like,
Okay.
I've got that in the car. We've got, clothes, we've got water, we've got stuff in the car with us so that we can get out of town.
Okay, mine's not solar,
And tools.
but I do have, I have my toolbox in my trunk at all times. And then I have a bunch of the external batteries, but like the beefy ones. So I have, I think,
cool.
2 or 3 of those.
Yeah. But it used to be called common sense. And unfortunately, most people lost it. So it's not common. Now it's just called unicorn. You're a unicorn if you have this thing. But pay attention to what's going on. Be prepared for things that you're not used to. Mm-hmm. And then I know that this is not really a part of the prepping style or the provider lifestyle, but I think you should probably consider becoming uncomfortable every once in a while. I will put myself in positions to be uncomfortable. Case in point, carrying a gun with me. It is uncomfortable to carry a gun on you at all times. But is my comfort more important than my safety?
Yeah.
That's what I had to come to terms with. Is my comfort more important than my family's safety? The answer is no. No, it's not. I want my family here. I want my family's safety to be a priority for me. And so you make yourself uncomfortable. There are times where, as I've been on drives, like I'll turn the air off and get uncomfortable for a while so that I can start to condition my body to think, okay, like what happens if?
You do that?
I do. I'm kind of a monster that way.
Oh, you're better than I am.
I don't know that I'm better, but I just don't want to be caught off guard because when I get hot, I get angry. Fast. True confessions, I get angry when I get hot. And I'm not nice. And so I'm trying to work on that. And Jesus is trying to work on that too. So we'll get through it together.
For the win.
Yeah, but just pay attention. I'm not warning you about any dates. I'm not warning you about any events. I'm not predicting the future, but I am saying something is going on here. There's way too many coincidences. And I suppose I should start selling tinfoil hats because I just believe that.
Well, that and really, like, nowadays, the difference between a conspiracy theorist and a truther is like 6 months.
Yep. Tinfoil hats are going to be in vogue by next October.
I was listening to Michael Knowles, and he's like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm a trend recognizer.
Ah, that's a good way of saying it.
Or something along those lines. But, Michael, you're right.
Yeah, my sister sent me a meme the other day that said we're going to relabel conspiracy theories and call them spoiler alerts. I don't like to think of myself as a conspiracy theorist, but I will say this. I am distrustful of government. I don't think there is any one person that will save you. I don't think there's any one company that will save you. I don't believe that any company has your best interest at heart. I don't believe that any government has your best interest at heart. And anytime they are selling you something under the guise of your safety or with a great deal of caution, as they like to say, let that be a warning flag to you that goes up and says, hey, like something's off here, something's wrong, and we need to pay attention. But then I will say this, and maybe we'll end with this.
Okay.
One of the best preparations that you can make as a human is other friends. Now, I get it. If everything goes to heck, it's everybody for themselves. But I have friends that I know that in a time of trial, I can call and who will be here and help me. Or vice versa. I can go and help them. Whatever needs to happen can happen because we have built relationships and we've been conditioned over the last 3 years to be so isolated that if that was to happen today, I don't know how many of my neighbors I could call.
Yeah.
I do think how many neighbors.
Do you know your neighbors?
I do.
Okay. That's rare today.
Yeah. Well, I make it a priority. I love people. I care about people. I want to see people succeed and I want things to go well for them. But right. I think it is important to have good friendships. I think it's important to have family around you. If you have family around you, that's great. But if you don't have family, go make some friends and make some solid, deep-rooted connections with people because people are what make this world turn.
Absolutely. And it's the one commodity that you can start stockpiling up on now that you could start reaping the benefits of immediately. It's not something where it's like it's only going to have benefits if the proverbial poop hits the fan.
Right.
This is something that's going to help you out every single day.
Yeah.
Or roundabout.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so much value that's added to your life through friendship that when it comes time for this stuff to go down, you're going to have a support system that you can call on, and you're going to be able to do life together, even if it's in a camp. Like even if you're struggling with the environment that you're in, you're still going to be able to enjoy the friendships and the stories, and I think that's super, super important. So
I love it.
Cool.
I love it.
Well, hey, guys, do us a favor, please. Put it in the comments. What do you want to see from us next? What do you want to hear next? We are so grateful that this is actually our 1 month on YouTube. We made it. Yeah, killing it. And we're super grateful for you, the subscribers. And I know that that's so vague and like trashy to say, but you as a person means something to us. And so would you do us a favor, put it in the comments. What do you want to hear from us? We want to bring you value. But in the meantime, subscribe, do the things you know to do. Yeah. Hey, stay dangerous, stay free.
I always want to say something at the end, but it's like, no, that's the closing out. Bye.
There you go. You did it.